Welcome to More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. We're gonna have some short demos. We're gonna have some Q&A. We might even have some special guests stop by. So sit back, relax, gather your notes and ask questions, and enjoy More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, people. It's almost time to wrap up this season of More with the Mac. We are about to jump into Safari today, and then later on, my buddy Matt Ballbrecht from ttjtech.biz. Go check out his website. He got just as many good services as I do on stiritup.com. STURITUP.com. And if there's anything else that we didn't cover that you want covered, please, if I don't know, I can't do it. Feedback at stiritup.com. That's F-E-E, the letter D, the word back at STURITUP.com. All right, let's jump into Safari, people.
Amazon.com.
Don't judge me.
Amazon.
Anyways, so we're on Amazon because that's my homepage. Let's walk through some of these settings first. And of course, you go to that with command, comma.
http://Amazon.
Okay, so it's on general. Let me jump over here to all the way to the left of the toolbar.
Toolbar. General. Zoom. Minimize. Close. Close.
All right, so you have the close button.
Minimize. Zoom. General.
General, that's just to the left of the toolbar. That's telling you what tab of the preferences we are in, or settings, I should say.
Toolbar.
And in the toolbar we have?
In general. Tabs. Autofill. Passwords, search, security, privacy, websites, profiles, extensions, advanced.
All right, I'm going to touch on a few of these. Right now we're in general, so I'm going to stop interacting with the toolbar, the O shift up arrow, or left and down arrow if you are using quick nav.
Out of toolbar, Safari opens with a new window. Safari opens with.
It says it opens with a new window. Let's see what our choices are.
Menu checkmark a new window, a new private window, all windows from last session, all non-private windows from last session.
All right, and that's your last choice.
A new window, new windows open with, homepage, new windows open with.
And it says homepage. That's what I have mine set to because I want a homepage, not a blank page, but I will show you what your options are here.
Menu check start page. Start page.
Now the start page is basically just going to open you up with your favorites and your bookmarks listed. Like I said, I have mine opening up in the whole page because that's the way that I like it.
Checkmark homepage. Empty page. Same page. Tabs for favorites. Choose tabs folder ellipsis. Choose tabs folder ellipsis.
And that's the last option.
Homepage. New tabs open with. Homepage.
Now that means if you open up an additional page, because you can have lots and lots of pages, you can even have tab groups, which I'm not going to go over because I don't use them, so I can't teach it to you. But you can basically have a group of tabs that open up on each time, or you can have a tab group that you can switch to, I should say, when you use the tabbed navigation section. Again, I don't use them. I like going to my favorites. 1 through 9, I'll show you how to do that, but I do not use tab groups.
Homepage. http://
It's telling me what the homepage is, which we already know.
Set to current page. Homepage.
You can do that. So if you haven't set your homepage, you go in there and you type the URL, Unified Resource Locator, and it will go to that homepage every time you open up. Or if you're on a current page and you want to switch or change your homepage location, you just hit that button right there.
Remove history items. After 1 week, remove history items.
Mine is set to 1 week. Let's see what the choices are.
Menu checkmark after 1 week, after 1 day, after 1 check, after 2 weeks, after 1 month, after 1 year, manually. All
right, so those are your choices. I have mine on 1 week.
After 1 week, start page favorites. Start page favorites.
That's what you can have, but you can also pick a folder which you want your favorites to start with. So let's take a look.
Menu checkmark tab group favorites. Tasks. True Crew. ACP and streaming.
So these are all my folders. So you can have
tasks, tab group favorites.
Tab group favorites. That's what I was talking about. You could have your favorites open up in those tab groups so you can pick which one you want to use at the time.
Favorites. File download location. Ophonic. File download location.
All right. So you heard that. Technically, when you download something, the default location is the downloads folder on your Mac. I used to have mine going into the download folders in iCloud, but right now I have them going into a folder called Alphonic because when I edit my podcasts, such as this one, and I get the download from that website, it goes directly into that folder and I don't have to go hunt for it. And I have as we done a couple episodes ago, I have that folder as an alias on my desktop, so I don't even have to open up iCloud Drive to get to it. But let me show you what the choices are here, because there are a couple.
Menu checkmark Ophonic. Ask for each download.
You can ask each download.
Other ellipsis.
And other was what you would select if you want to pick the folder where you want it to go.
Other ellipsis.
And that's the last choice.
Ophonic. Remove download list items. After 1 day.
All right, let's see what the choices are. These is with you download something from Safari, you can have it remove the downloads in a certain amount of time.
Menu checkmark after 1 day. When Safari quits. Upon successful download. Manually upon successful download.
And this is what I'm going to select now, because I forgot I had that choice. Because I don't need it to still be there after a successful download. It can just delete it because it's already been saved on my system or a hard drive or a cloud service where I selected to go.
Open save files after downloading. Tick box. Save files include movies, pictures, sounds, text documents, and archives. Help. All
right, and that's our last choice. Let's jump back over to the toolbar. Interact.
In tabs.
Let me go in here and see what's in here, because I don't even remember.
Tabs allow open pages and tabs instead of windows. Automatically open pages in tab menu. Never checkmark always.
I see that's your choices.
Checkmark automatically.
Automatically, always, and never.
Automatically open, automatically close tabs. Manually automatically close tabs. Menu checkmark manual. After 1 day, after 1 week, after 1 month, after 1 month.
So you can close, if you have tabs open, you can pick when you want yours to close automatically. I'm going to select.
App checkmark manual. After 1 day.
After 1 day.
Tab layout. Separate. Selected. Toggle button. Compact. Toggle button. Separate. Compact. Show color in tab bar.
And these are visual things. So you can have your tabs be in separate pages or separate windows or compact, which means they're going to be scrunched together. I don't think anybody wants that, but hey, to each their own.
Always show website titles in tabs. Unticked tick box.
I don't know why it says unchecked, because mine always does show the title, so maybe that's misleading or it's a new feature. I don't know.
Navigation. Command click opens a link in a new tab. Ticked tick box. When a new tab or window opens, make it active. Unticked tick box. Use Command 1 to Command 9 to switch tabs. Unticked tick box.
Now this is an interesting one, because I have mine unchecked because I told you I don't use tabs. So by unchecking it, I'm able to use my favorites for 1 through 9 instead of tabs. If I did have this checked, I would have to use the Option key also to go to my tabs. So it will be Command, Option, and 1 through 9 to go to my favorites. But since I have this unchecked, it uses Command 1 through 9 for my favorites instead of tabs.
Command. Click. Opens a link in a new tab. Command. Shift click. Opens a link in a new tab. And Command. Option click. Opens a link in a new window. Command. Option Shift click. Opens a link in a new window. And help.
All right, that's all your options here. Jump back to the toolbar.
Toolbar. In autofill.
Autofill, this is pretty self-explanatory. You can have it on or off. And bottom line, if you go to a website that you've already saved a password on, it's going to ask you if you want autofill. You can use Touch
Options
ID.
Available.
I don't I don't have Touch ID on this particular keyboard, so it's going to ask me to just verify by hitting enter. It may have me enter my system password. It depends on the website.
Passwords.
That's your passwords. You can, it's basically turning them on or off. You can view them. I'll show you later on how you can export them if you so choose and import them into another service like Google Chrome or Edge, whatever you use as a browser.
Search.
There's your search.
Security.
Security, this is basically going to be asking you what you want stuff to do when you go to the website, like privacy and sound, stuff like that. You can disable all this stuff that you want to in there.
Actions available. Privacy. Security. Privacy.
Privacy, same thing. Just go in there and explore. There's things that you need that you don't need, but that you might want to change based on your preferences.
Websites.
Websites, this is, I think, where you would go to adjust your pop-up blocker for certain websites, or if you want to turn it on and off for all of them. There's like 10 or 12 choices.
Actions
in there.
available. Profiles.
You can definitely have profiles on Safari on the Mac, just like you can on your iPhone. I don't use neither because I don't let nobody use my devices. I might create one just for
Actions available.
specific websites like my podcasting, but I could also do that with my tab groups too. So I've been meaning to play with that.
Extensions.
Extensions. I have a Capital One extension. I also have another extension that, tells me when there's a sale, stuff like that. So these are things to install at your own risk. I also have another one for my recipe app to, if I find a recipe, I can automatically save it to my recipe collection.
Advanced.
There's advanced, which we don't need to go into. But let's go.
How to open pages and
we can close the preferences now.
Amazon and keyboard list.
Right now, this is where quick nav and single letter key navigation I actually use, because you can use single key navigation. No, you can't. You can't use single key navigation, single letter navigation. You cannot use it with your quick nav off, because it might think if you're in an edit field that you are trying to write. So I have to turn my single key letter navigation on. Now, I have a commander on my numpad for it, but the actual toggle is voiceover Q, and it's a toggle, so you turn it on or off. So
single key quick nav on.
And it's on now. So now we can do some Windows stuff. And I just call it Windows because Mac didn't always have this. But over the years, they figured out what people want. Maybe they did surveys. Maybe people told them. But you can do H for heading.
Heading level 2, pick up where you left off.
So I'm pushing H.
Heading level 3, buy again. Heading level 2, continue shopping deals.
And you also can push heading, or not heading, but you can also push number 1 through 4 for different headings.
Heading not found.
There's no heading level 4.
Heading level 3, shop today's deals.
This is all coming from the
you are current.
The keypad, or not the keypad, the numpad, the alphanumeric numpad above the keyboard. Let's do a heading level 1.
Heading not found.
There ain't no heading level 1.
Heading level 2, deals related to items you've saved.
All right, so that's 1 through 4 that you can use for your headings, but you can also use the letter H.
Heading level 2, save on Amazon devices. Heading level 2, selected for you.
All right, let's see if there's any checkboxes.
Tick box not found. Leave feedback on sponsored ad button.
All right, that's a button. I'd push the letter B for that.
Leave feedback on sponsored ad button.
Let's see if there's any.
List 29 items.
There's a list.
Currently.
A list is the letter X.
List 50 items. List 7 items.
All right, and the L does?
Amazon Music stream millions of songs. Heading level 5. Amazon ads reach customers wherever they spend their time. Heading level 5.
All right, it's calling it headings, but I'm actually pushing L for link. All right, let's see.
Image not found.
That was G for graphic.
Text field not found.
No text field. That was F.
Table not found.
T for table.
Radio group not found.
R for radio button or radio group.
6 p.m. Score deals on fashion brands. Heading level 5.
He called that a heading. I don't even know what number or what letter I hit there, so. You can also use the item chooser. By doing the item chooser, if you know the first letter of the item you're looking for, you can push that, or you can just scroll through it. So let's go to the item chooser, and that's VO, command, and the letter I.
Italic text item not found.
Oops, my fault. It's VO. This is the VO key. So VO, which is control and option, and the letter I.
Item chooser menu.
And you can also do the rotor.
You are currently in a.
That's why I don't like this verbosity, because it speaks with the hints right away. But you can also do the verbosity the rotor by doing VO command and left and right arrow. So
headings, navigation, characters, words, window spots, links, lines, headings, navigation.
And now we're back to the beginning. I was doing that by VO Command and the left and right arrow keys. But if I do this again,
character, words, window, spot, links.
There's links. Now, if I hit the down arrow,
Amazon Business, everything for your business. Heading level 5.
He's calling it a heading, but this is a link.
Amazon Fresh Groceries, Amazon Global Ship, Home Services, Experience Pros, Amazon Web Services, Skill.
And most times when you encounter a link, you're going to hear a popping sound. It's going to go click or pop, and it's going to read what that link is. Apparently, Amazon has got a lot of headings as links also on their webpage. That's why it's doing that. Now, what I just did with the VO command left and right arrow for the rotor, I can also do with just the arrow keys, especially when you've got quick nav on. So you can do VO, or not VO, but you can do left and up arrow, and it will go left in the rotor.
Window, spots, words, characters, navigation, headings, lines, links.
All right, and it says links. Now, I can do the go right on the rotor with up arrow and the right arrow together.
Lines, headings, navigation, characters, words, window, spots, links.
So you can do it either with the VO command left and right arrow. People usually do that when they're a modifier user, caps lock if you choose, or the VO keys, which are command and option, left and right arrow with the command key, or you can do it with quick nav on, left and up to go left on the rotor, right and up to go right on the rotor.
Heading level, end of list 7 items.
And now I'm going to hit F for a search field.
Current text field not.
Says there ain't no text field, but he's lying, so let's do Shift F.
Search Amazon.
There it is.
Pop up. Search text field.
Now,
10 individual.
I don't know if you have to do it because I don't really do it, but it's by habit. I always VO spacebar in that search field. And I turn single key navigation off.
Single key quick nav off.
And then I write what I'm looking for.
Mic. Prefix mic. 10 individuals 4. Podcasting. No suggestion. 2000 web content.
So I search for mic for podcasting 2026, and then I hit enter. Now I'm going to turn my single key navigation back on.
Single key quick nav on.
And then I'm going to hit the letter H.
Heading level 2. Skip to. Heading level 2. Keyboard shortcut. Heading level 1. Subtotal. Heading level 2. $31. Heading level 1. Heading level 2. 2 items. Sort by. Heading level 2. 148 of 80 results for mic for podcasting 2026.
All right, he just read out my search field or my search term or query string of letters, whatever you want to call it. Let's see what he gave us.
Heading level 2 results. Sponsored ad. Mono PD200W hybrid wireless podcast microphone for PC.
I'm sorry, but I do not trust wireless mics. Not for podcasting anyway. It's a great thing to have when you're at a seminar and people have questions and you can take a mic to them, but not for podcasting. I will never use a wireless mic for podcasting or any kind of recordings that I'm doing, teaching, whatever.
Heading level 2 sponsored ad. Shure MV7 Plus podcast dynamic microphone. OBS certified. Enhanced audio. LED panel. USB-C and XLR outputs. Auto level mode.
Yeah, it looks like a nice mic. Let's see what it says about it, because this is a Shure mic. It's not the one that I have, but it's one that looks like it could be USB-C or XLR for your mixer.
USB, XLR.
Yep.
4.7 out of 5 stars.
Almost 5
Rating
stars.
Details, but 780 ratings.
700 people rated this mic.
You are 1K plus bought in past month. Price. $299.00.
And it ain't cheap. It better sound good costing that much. $300? XLR and USB-C? Yeah, that's not something I would just buy to try for that price, and I'm also satisfied with the mic hookup that I got. I do have a USB mic or USB-C mic, but ever since I got this Shure Beta 87A, I've had no need for it, so. But it's still here. Actually, I put it in the drawer, so. But anyways, let's see what other results we have.
Sponsored ad. Mono dynamic microphone. USB/XLR podcast PC microphone with software. EQ. Tap to mute. Headphone jack. Gain knob and volume control. Studio mic for broadcast, recording, streaming and gaming. PD400X. Heading level 2.
Now, I'd automatically skip this, Mike, because the first thing it said is for the PC. It didn't say nothing about Mac. It did say XLR, which you can use with your mixer, but no, we're not even going to read no more. No, let's see how much it is.
USB, USB-C, XLR. 4.6 out of 5 stars. Rating 490, 200 plus, bought in past month price $149.99.
All right, it's half the price. It's half the price. All right, all right.
Sponsored ad. DJI Mic 2, 2TX plus 1R.
All right, so there's a little bit of navigation. Now, what if I want to go to another page? What do I do? Ooh, now, this is Safari. I'm pretty sure, I think it's the same way on Google Chrome on Windows. But on Windows, it's Control L. On the Mac, it's Command and the letter L.
https://www.amazon.com.
Now, right there, it brought me to the address bar, which is telling me what website I'm already on. But if I just start typing,
oops, same head,
oops, I forgot to turn single key navigation off. I actually did that on purpose because I wanted you to see that. If you don't turn off single key letter navigation, you will not be able to write in the edit field. So,
single key quick nav off. Selection deleted.
So, I'm starting to write.
Google contacts. Google.com/contacts/
All right, now I typed in Google.com and it's going to try to autocomplete with contacts. I don't want that. So I'm going to hit the backspace key.
Google.com.
There we go. Now it's at Google.com and I'm going to hit enter.
Search list box pop-up collapsed. Upload search by voice.
And by the way, Google is Safari's default search engine unless you change it. So if you open up a blank page and just start typing, you're already in the Google search engine. So technically, I didn't have to go to Google.com. I just came here just because.
Single key quick nav on.
Now I'm going to turn single key back on so I can navigate by headings and check boxes and all that good stuff.
Heading not found.
No headings?
Heading not found.
Probably not, because I haven't typed in a search string.
Text field not search. List box pop arrow key quick nav off. Single key.
All right, so I'm going to search for the
banded
lasagna recipe.
The best lasagna.
And of course, I spelled it wrong, but watch this.
Single key quick S. Arrow key quick nav on.
Just look what Google does.
Heading level 1, filters and top. Heading level 2, these are results for level 1. Heading level 1, search results. Heading level 2, recipes. Heading level 3, world's best lasagna. All recipes rated 4.
Bam. It knew what I was talking about just by, I guess, learning my habits and stuff like that. I typed Google the best lasagna recipe, but I typed it wrong on purpose because I knew it was going to do that. And I'm going to VO spacebar on this recipe because this is one of the best lasagna recipes from allrecipes.com, which is what I use 98% of the time. I sometimes go to Food Network, cooking.com, stuff like that. But allrecipes.com is where I get newsletters from, different recipes. I'm kind of piling up my recipes, but I better go say them. Anyway, I'm going to click on this link.
Heading level 2, recipes. Heading level 3, world's best lasagna. All recipes rated 4.8 out of 5. 21K user reviews 3 out.
4.8 out of 5 stars, over 21,000 reviews. You can't get much better than that.
70-page menu. Reader available. 95 0 seconds 0 seconds of 0 seconds 0 seconds of 1 minute 0.
All right. I'm glad he said everything he just said. The first thing he said is reader available. And what that is you can hit Command-Shift-R and it will give you just the recipe. So let's do that.
Show reader. World's best lasagna. Web content.
All right. He just said
You are current.
Reader. I forgot what he said. He said reader available. That's what he said. Reader available. So now.
World's best lasagna. Web in heading level. Summarize button. When. John Chandler. Heading level 2. Ingredients you'll need for lasagna.
All right. I hit heading. And that was the first thing that popped up, which means all the extra links and photos and advertisements and ads and all that stuff. It's gone because I pushed Command-Shift-R. Now, if I push it again.
Hide reader. World's best lasagna recipe with world's best image.
Yep, see, all the images came back.
Image.
Advertisements.
60 heading level 1. World's best. Heading level 2. Ingredients. Heading level 2. What to serve with lasagna. Heading level 2. How to reheat lasagna. Heading level 2. How to freeze lasagna.
So you got all these
95%.
So you got all these options on here. Plus, the other thing that you heard when I first came to this page is the progress bar. I have mine turned off because I don't want to hear it. But for somebody who does, that's again in the verbosity settings of voiceover utilities. I did a demo on that about 4 or 5 shows ago. Maybe not even that long. Maybe, I think it was the 5th show. And this is number 10 if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, but that's
75%.
Using this reader mode, Command-Shift-R to strip out all the extra advertisements, ads, pictures, photos, graphics, whatever you want to call them, all the extra stuff. So the other thing I could do here is I could add this to my favorites. And how do I do that? It would be the letter D and the Command key. So I'm going to hit Command D.
Add this page to.
This is you are
current.
I think I said bookmark. This is actually adding, or I think I said favorite. This is adding this to. I can actually choose where I want to add this to. So I could add it to
world's best lasagna recipe.
That's the name of it.
Description, edit, text, cancel.
And I could describe it.
Logic, pop-up button.
All right, that's the last photo I saved in, but if I hit the old space bar.
Menu, 22 items, checkmark, logic, audio editing, bookmarks. Favorites.
So you could add it to your bookmarks or your favorites.
On a bookmarks.
And there's the bookmarks.
Favorites.
True
Crew.
And then here's my folders that I could add them to also.
AC strip block or credit card login. Close it. World's best lasagna recipe. Description, edit, cancel, add.
And I could add it, but I don't need to because I already have it. So I'm going to hit escape.
World's best lasagna recipe with Vic.
If I wanted to edit my bookmarks and, reorganize them, it would be Command, Option, and the letter B as in boy.
Now in tab Bookmarks. Bookmarks table. No selection. Bookmark search bookmark in tab Group Favorites. True Crew. Streaming. Move image. Collapsed.
And if I wanted to, I would just copy it. If I want to move one up or down, you just copy it and move it above or place it on top of the one you wanted above. I like my bookmarks the way they are, so we're not going to do that. I just wanted to come here and show you that. So let's go back to my homepage, which you can do by Command-Shift-H.
Home, Amazon.com. Spend less.
And there it is. It took us back to the homepage.
Amazon skip. S, arrow key, quick nav, single key, quick nav off, single key, Amazon tool, Amazon tool, Amazon. All
right, so let's go through some of these file menu, or some of these menu bar options.
Menu bar app, Safari.
There's Safari, of course.
Apple
was first.
File.
There's the file menu. Let's come on down and see what's up in here, because there is one thing in here I want to show you.
File, new window, Command N. New private window, Command Shift N. New tab, Command T. New empty tab group, Command Control N. New tab group with this tab. Open file, ellipsis, Command O. Open location, ellipsis, Command L.
That's that command that I did when I wanted to go to a new web page, Command L. So that's open location, Command L.
Close window, Command W. Close all windows, Command Option W. Close tab, dimmed. Delete tab group, dim, Command, Control W. Save as ellipsis, Command S. Share ellipsis. Export as PDF ellipsis. Add to doc ellipsis. Import browsing data from file or folder ellipsis. Export browsing data to file ellipsis. Bookmarks. On bookmarks. On switch. 258 200 on switch off bookmarks. Off 258 200 off switch on switch. You are current.
So you can see here that you can export your bookmarks. It tells me exactly how many I have.
258 bookmarks. 250 out of. Export browsing data. Export selected browser data as an archive to allow importing into other browsers. Your data will be saved without encryption and will be visible to anyone who can access the exported file. Cancel help but can't export default button.
And there's your export button. So you can export your bookmarks, import them into Google Chrome, Edge, whatever browser you choose to export them into. All right, I'm going to escape because I don't need to do that.
Edit. Add, redo, cut, copy, paste and match style. Dim Command Shift Option V. Delete, dim, select all command autofill for distraction autofill form Command Shift A. Distraction control submenu. Submenu. Distraction find submenu extension actions writing tools submenu spelling and grammar submenu substitutions submenu transformations submenu speech submenu autofill submenu start dictation ellipsis FN emoji and symbols FNE Start autofill submenu 3 items contact ellipsis dim passwords ellipsis dimmed credit card ellipsis dim edit speech submenu 2 items start speaking stop speaking stops edit transformations substitutions spelling and grammar submenu 5 items check spelling while typing check grammar with spelling correct spelling automatically dim correct spell edit menu undo dim view history bookmarks hit add menu bar file edit view menu check mark always show toolbar and customize toolbar ellipse always show tab show favorites bar command show status bar command show favorites bar command shift B show status bar command slash show sidebar command shift L show bookmarks sidebar command control 1 show reading list sidebar command control 2 show shared with you history menu show all history back command forward dim home command return to search recently closed reopen bookmarks menu show start page show bookmarks edit bookmarks command option B add bookmark ellipsis command D closing menu.
So you see there's a lot of options in the menu bar. That's why you have to explore it. And I misspoke before. I said to edit the bookmarks, it was Command Option B. It's Control Option B, I think it said. Just go through the toolbar and find that. But to activate or hide and unhide your bookmarks, I know for sure it's Command Option B. So it's it's Control Option B to edit your bookmarks. So that's where you would go to move them around, delete them, whatever the case may be. So that is Safari. In a nutshell, if you have any questions or want anything demoed, you can email the previous address, feedback@stiritup.com. Coming up next, we got my buddy from ttjtech.biz. He's going to show you how to use numbers on the Mac, people. Enjoy.
Well, welcome back to our next Macintosh discussion and demo here. Today, we're going to be talking about Apple Numbers, which, of course, is the spreadsheet app. And I have to say that we are excited to report how accessible this is. Once again, just like all the other Apple apps, not only is it accessible, but it's improved. It's gotten better and better as time has gone on. It's fully compatible with iCloud again, of course, so you can use it on your iPad, your Mac, your iPhone, what have you. You have templates. You have predictable patterns, so you can figure this app out pretty well. We're just going to go ahead and create a basic spreadsheet, but it's not going to be quite as basic as we might think because we're going to put a formula in it so we can show you what that sounds like as well. Let me begin by going to Numbers.
Doc. Keynote, Numbers, Zoom.us, Sys Numbers, open window, focus, do not disturb, off to open the
The very first thing that we have here is our, once again, predictable patterns. It's our spreadsheet manager. We can find all of our existing spreadsheets. I can interact with the collection.
Cancel the icon view collection.
And I can find my existing spreadsheets. There's first one.
New document. Image.
New document.
Invoice demo 20. Soda test 20.
Okay, so all we have to do is VO space on any of these. And we should be able to open that right up. But there's also, if you stop interacting.
Out of a cancel. Open button.
There's an open button, so whatever is selected, you can open that way too.
I want to point something out that I don't think I covered in any previous sessions and that we've talked about. When you're opening up an app that comes with your Mac, number, pages, text edit, keynote, whatever the case may be, iCloud automatically creates a folder in your iCloud drive or wherever you have your documents housed for that folder. So when you open up Numbers, it's automatically open up in Numbers. Me and Matt use iCloud for everything. So when I open up a Numbers spreadsheet, it's automatically going to create a Numbers folder in my iCloud drive. Keynote, same thing. Text edit, same thing. Pages, and you get the idea. But what I'm saying to you is, you don't have to create these folders yourselves. These are things that the Mac is smart enough to do for you, assuming that you want all your spreadsheets in one folder, all your pages documents in one folder, and all your keynote presentations in one folder. Now, if you want them in different places, you can move them to wherever you want to. But when you create these documents or these spreadsheets or these presentations, it's going to organize it for you until you move it to somewhere else that you want.
And that's very important. And that's the same thing is true on the iPad and the iPhone. If that's where you first open an app like Numbers, you will get a folder. They actually call them libraries, but they really just act like folders. But they're folders that are associated with a particular app, created automatically by that app when you open it. And they are created for you in iCloud Drive, assuming that you're using iCloud. And you can even create subfolders within that folder. So not only can you move the things to other places, but you can also go ahead and if you decide you want to create folders within those libraries like Pages or like Numbers folder, whatever, and then that way you can organize even further, or you can tag your items. We talked about tags a little bit. So yes, I'm glad you pointed that out. Now let's go back and create a new
icon view in Invoice demo 20. New document. Image.
Spreadsheet here.
Now in Window, Collection.
What we have now here is kind of, again, like our template chooser, like we've had in other apps where we can...
In Collection, Recents section, Basic section, Personal Finance section, Personal section, Business section.
And just to show you, if I interact with one of these like Personal...
Personal Finance, Personal in Section 0 items, Calendar, Print Friendly, Blank monthly calendar with bright orange accents button, Group Schedule, Print Friendly, 7-day calendar broken out by hour with turquoise accents button, Running log, 2 tables and 2 charts that let you calculate your averages, achievements.
All right, so you get all of these have different things, and business has, we might look at one of the business ones here later, but we're right now just going to go back to the basic ones and create a blank one. So I'll stop interacting with Personal here.
Out of section.
And go back to the left, VO left.
Personal Finance, Basic section.
And then I'll interact with Basic, okay?
In Section 0 items, blank, simple table on a white background button, Group. Now in Untitled Window, Table 1, 22 rows, 7 columns, Table 1 cell selected, B2 empty cell, button, Group, button, Group, button, Group. Now,
here's a situation.
Actions available. Use the press action to edit the table's name, size, 686.0 points wide, 441.9 points tall, position, 28.3 points from top, 0.0 points from left. You are currently on a table, inside of a layout area. To add comment, add caption, deselect all, edit table title, remove unused rows, remove unused columns, and remove unused rows and columns. Press Ctrl, Option, Command, Space first to bring up the action menu. To enter this table, press Ctrl, Option, Shift, down arrow.
Okay, lots of information. And we've learned some things already about how this is going to work. But I just want to point out, like the other apps, Pages and Keynote, it is possible to rename and save your document immediately if you...
Out of Sheet 1, white background layout.
Okay, we stopped interacting.
Sheet Navigator, Tab Group.
We'll go to the left.
New Sheet button, Toolbar. Document Actions, dimmed.
And there's our document action. So if I want to name this, I can do that and save it right away and lock it. The same things that we've had before. And while we're out here, let's take a look at the
Toolbar.
Toolbar, shall we?
Toolbar. 14 items. View menu button. 125%. Add category menu button. Pivot table button. Insert menu button. Table button. Chart button. Text button. Shape button. Media menu button. Comment button. Share button. Format. Selected. Radio. Organize radio button. Organize radio.
So same kinds of things. Insert different things, shapes, media. You have the share button. That's one of the ways we're going to be able to share this collaboratively or otherwise. And you even have the format button. So that's one of the ways we can make sure we're choosing the correct formatter that we can view later. Let's stop interacting with this toolbar.
Out of toolbar. New sheet button.
Go to the right here.
Sheet navigator. Tab group. Table 1. 22 rows. 7 columns. Table 1 cell selected. B2 empty cell.
And that's where it said I can use the press action if I want to rename this table. So I'm going to create a fictional spreadsheet here where we've pretended that we've sampled some people, girls and guys, and see what kind of flavor of ice cream they like best. And I might be able to press on this. I don't know if I have to interact first, but let's just try VO command space.
Actions menu 10.
And see if there's a press option.
Remove unused rows. Remove edit table title. Deselect all. Edit table title.
There it is. So I could also name the table. Remember, if you save and name the file, that's not the same thing as naming the table. You don't necessarily have to name the table, but if you want to, you sure can. So
edit text insertion at beginning of text. Table title 1. Table 1.
We're just going to call it ice cream.
Cap I C E C M.
And then
ice cream cap T.
I got to delete
capped table 1. Selected. Selection to M. To see end of text.
Cream preference.
E. Table 1. 22 rows. Table 1.
Press return.
Ice cream preference. 22 rows. 7 columns. Table. No selection.
So you notice that it renamed it now from table 1 to ice cream preference. Now what we can do is interact with it.
Ice cream preference. Column header cell. Row header cell.
And I'm going to go to the far left. What we're going to do is we're going to create 4 columns across the top. The name of the ice cream flavor, that's the first one. The second one's going to be the number of girls that like that flavor. The third one will be the number of guys or boys that enjoy that flavor. And then the fourth one is going to be the total, which is where we'll get to explore formulas a little bit. So let's go over to the left so we can get to what would be considered A1, first column and first row. And
column header cell, row header cell, cell A1.
And all I have to do once I'm on that is just start typing. So I'm going to type ice cream flavor.
Cap F L A.
And if I make a mistake, I can delete.
A L.
See that?
L A R.
All right.
Flavor.
Now, if you VO right arrow, you're going to go to the next column.
Column header cell P1.
If you VO left arrow, you're going to go back to that first cell and you're going to hear that it successfully named it.
Ice cream flavor. Column header cell. Row header cell A1.
And if you go VO down arrow.
Row header cell A2.
You're going to the next ice cream flavor, theoretically. We haven't created those rows yet, but let's finish our headers, our labels. Go back up.
Ice cream flavor. Column header.
And we're going to VO right arrow.
Column header cell P1.
This is where we'll put the number of girls.
Number F of cap G S.
Now
girls.
We're going to go to the right again, VO right.
Column header cell C1.
Number of boys.
U number of cap O S.
And finally,
column header cell D1.
Total.
L.
If we
total.
go back with the VO left arrow, we can read these.
Number ice cream flavor. Column header cell. Row header cell A1. Number of girls. Number of boys. Total. Column header cell D1.
What I'd like to do is just go back to the left and go down to the first actual flavor that we're going to put in, which is going to be strawberry. So
number of ice cream flavor. Row header cell A2.
Now I did a VO down arrow to get to that, and we'll type strawberry in there.
TWY. Strawberry. Y.
Misspelled it.
Y.
All right,
strawberry. Number of girl ice cream flavor. Strawberry. Row header cell.
If we go to the right.
Number of girls.
How many girls like
actions available? You are current.
Strawberry. Let's just say there's 8. And
number of girls 8.
Okay. And let's go to the right.
Number of boys.
How many boys like strawberry? Let's just say it's 7. Now,
Number of girls 8. Number of boys 7.
you can see that we have that. Let's go down and do chocolate.
Number of ice cream flavor strawberry. Row header cell A3.
Okay, let's do chocolate.
E. Chocolate.
And
number of girls.
we're going to say that 12, 12 girls like that.
Selection replace table style to number of boys.
And 9 boys. So let's see.
Number of girls 12. Ice cream flavored chocolate. Number of girls 12. Number of boys 9.
And you notice our total is empty.
Strawberry.
Strawberry's empty. We don't have
Actions
a total.
available.
So if we want to get this total, we need a formula that is going to allow us to get the sum. And what's really awesome about Apple numbers is that it's very, very smart. Now, I'm sure if you were doing a very complex formula and you had to calculate a lot of different ranges of cells and so on, that we might have to create the formula manually. And that certainly is an option that's available to us. But the nice thing is, for something simple like this, we don't even have to do that. What we need to do is go to the first cell that we actually want to have a total number in. That, if you recall, is going to be the cell that contains the total of the number of girls plus the number of boys that like strawberry ice cream. We should be looking for the number 15 there because we said 8 girls enjoy strawberry and 7 boys enjoy it. So let's go and read that whole row again.
Number of girls 8.
Okay.
Ice cream flavor strawberry. Number of girls 8. Number of boys 7. Total.
And let's not do it ourselves. Let's use a formula. Now, one of the quickest ways you can do this is from the menu bar, VOM to get to it.
Apple menu 10.
And we can go to insert.
Lock screen command numbers menu file edit insert table to insert menu 20.
And then we can VO down arrow and we can find formula. It's pretty far down.
Sheet lock shape line highlight comment image web video import record audio copied row copied call formula equation formula submenu.
And let's go into that submenu with a VO right arrow and let's see what it says.
Formula submenu 8 items sum.
Sum is the first one.
Average, minimum, maximum, count, product, stock quote, new formula.
And then, of course, if you need to, you can create
You are
one
currently
manually.
a new formula.
I'm going to go back up to sum because that's what we want.
Stop prop cap mac minimum average sum.
VO space.
Closing menu empty cell.
Now let's read it.
Number of boys, number of girls 8. Number of boys 7. Total 15. Formula
And
result.
Look at that. It already did the number 8 plus 7 is 15. Now, here's the issue. Let's suppose I have a whole bunch more. In fact, let's do a couple more.
Ice cream flavor strawberry, chocolate.
We did chocolate.
Row header cell.
To vanilla.
A. Number of girls.
Only 4 girls like that.
Number of boys.
And only 3 boys. All right. How about
Actions, ice cream flavor vanilla. Row header cell.
peanut
A5.
peanut butter?
N. T. R.
Peanut
Peanut
butter.
number of girls.
There's a lot of girls that like that. Let's say 15.
Selection replaced number of
And let's say 17 boys.
Selection replaced.
So
17.
now what we have, if you
Number
look at these, all these ice cream flavors.
Ice cream flavor peanut butter, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, row header cell.
And we only have totals for one of them. We have the 8 plus the 7, but I got to put the rest of the numbers
Column
in.
header cell. Ice cream flavor strawberry, chocolate, row header. Number of girls 12. Number of boys 9.
See, we have these
Vanilla
numbers,
3.
but we don't have
Total.
any totals.
Chocolate, strawberry 15.
The only total we have is for strawberry. So how do we fill this formula down to take care of the rest of the cells that have no totals in them yet? And the answer to that is we first put our cursor on the cell which we need to start with. The formula we want to fill is right where we are now.
Number, total 15. Formula result.
Okay? If you go below it,
Chocolate,
there's nothing.
strawberry 15. Formula result.
When you're on the row in the column that has the formula
Messages, country code.
that you want, what you're going to do is you're going to use a very special command that they have for both the iPad and the Mac, and I guess maybe the iPhone too, really, because you can use a keyboard with that. I've never tried that, but it is not a voiceover command. It's a numbers command, And so no VO keys. You're just going to press the command and the backslash together. Command backslash keys, okay? So again, let's make sure we're still in the correct place.
Total strawberry 15. Formula result.
We're going to press command backslash. Backslash is above the return. Command's to the left of the space bar or to the right.
Autofill. Entered autofill mode.
Now, all that you're going to do is press the down arrow. No VO keys. Just the down arrow for as many times as you want to fill this down. So we have to fill it down for chocolate.
D3 autofilled.
Vanilla, down arrow.
D4 autofilled.
Peanut butter, down arrow.
D5 autofilled.
And let's just do a couple more for good measure.
D6
One,
autofilled. D7
two,
autofilled.
we'll do 3.
D8 autofilled.
And we'll press command backslash to stop that mode now, to exit that mode.
Autofill. Exited autofill mode.
Now, if I look here,
Total. Number of ice cream flavor. Column header cell.
we're actually below the ones I
Ice
did.
cream flavor. Number of ice cream strawberry.
No, we're above it. There we go. Strawberry.
Number
Okay.
of girls 8. Number of boys 7. Total 15.
That one we know is good. If we go down, let's go to the left
Number of
and go down.
chocolate 12.
12 girls.
Number of boys 9.
9. So we should expect to see.
Total 21. Formula result.
There it is. And you can go down and see our total for
Vanilla
vanilla
7.
was
Formula
3 and 4, 7. And our peanut butter, I forget what numbers, they were pretty big.
peanut butter 32. Formula
Okay.
result.
And if we go down again,
Row 60.
we don't have anything because we don't have numbers in there. But since we already have the formula in there, if we add another flavor,
Ice cream
like
flavor.
let's say ice cream flavor blueberry,
L-E-B-R-Y.
and
Blueberry. Number of girls.
there's about 11 girls that like that, and there's
Number of
also 11 boys. There's
Selection
a tie
will
on
play-
that, and you'll see now
Total 22.
it already did it. So now if
ice
we
cream
want
flavor. Row header cell. Ace.
mint chocolate,
Mint. K-O-O-E. Number of girls.
and there's 7 boys, and that's girls. 7
Number
girls,
of boys.
5 boys,
Total
and
12.
I think we have one
Row
more.
80. Ice cream flavor. Row headers. Rock. D.
Rocky Road,
Number.
be 6.
Number of
and
boys.
8, which should be 14.
Total 14. Formula.
So now, even if we didn't have the numbers in there ahead of time, when we go ahead and put the numbers in, it knows to total those B and those C columns every time that I have filled down that formula. And so this is how easy it is to create a spreadsheet, to fill it, to make formulas. And let's just take a look at what else is here if I stop interacting now with this sheet and this table.
Out of ice cream preference. Ice cream preference. Out of sheet 1. What formatter? Group.
There's our formatter. So if we have things selected, now you'll see
Scroll area.
a scroll area to the right of that.
Scroll area.
But let's go back to the
Formatter.
format.
Group. In formatter. Group. Table. Selected. Radio button. Cell. Radio button. Text. Radio button. Arrange. Radio button. Table styles preset.
So there's all those different choices, and it's on table right
Table
now.
styles. Page 1. Page 2. Table formatter. Scroll area.
You can interact.
Headers and footer. Caption. Unchecked. Check. Headers and footer. 1. Header 1. 0. Rows. 22. Contents selected. Edit text.
Is there a stepper?
0%. 22. Number of rows. Stepper.
There is. And we don't need that many rows because we didn't do 22 items. What do we do? About 8 and 4 columns. So we could reduce this VO down arrow.
0.6%. 7. Number of columns. Stepper.
Let's see. Oh.
7. Content.
That was my fault. I forgot to interact with the...
Columns. 0%. 22.
We have to interact with that first, that stepper. Or I could manually type it in, by the way. This is editable here.
22. Contents selected. Edit.
But we're going to just go ahead, and it's already selected, so I literally could type right over that. I don't even have to delete it. But I want to use the stepper.
0%. 22.
Interact with your stepper. Don't forget, like I did, interact
In
with it. Okay?
stepper.
And now you can VO up or down.
0%. 0%. 0%.
Now, if
Out of 21. Contents. 0%.
it is moving.
In
But
stepper. 0%. Out of 20.
every time you VO down, it's moving, but it's not always telling you.
0%.
So I could go in
In
here.
stepper. 0%. 0%. 0. Out of step 12. Content.
And it's reduced it to 12. That's probably good, just in case we want to add any more flavors. Now, over here for the columns.
Columns. 7. Contents selected. Edit 0.6%.
And again, that's an editable field with a stepper that you can interact with. This time I am going to just type it. We're going to just say 4.
7. Contents 4. Columns 4. Insertion
Okay.
at end of text.
And so now what we've done is thank you. We've reduced the number of rows and columns in this to make it less cluttered, especially if you're sending it to somebody who can see it. That's going to be beneficial, right? So if I go back now,
Sheet 1, sheet nav, sheet 1, and sheet ice cream prep in 14.
we can see
Number of boys 8.
if you go
Number
here.
of ice cream flavor Rocky Road. Row header.
Now I'm just going to I'm going to go up,
Vanilla.
but then I'm going to move to the right
Straw.
with VO right arrow. And where we would have had 3 more columns, they're gone now. Watch.
Number of girls 8. Number of boys 7. Total 15. Ice cream flavored chocolate.
See, it just goes right down, and we should be only, I think I left what? 12 rows?
Vanilla, peanut, blueberry, mint, Rocky Road. Row headers. Row header. Row header. Row header. Row headers. Row header. Cell.
That's
cell.
it.
A12.
And that's it. That's the last one because we removed all those extra ones. And really, I could remove those extra empty ones too. But again, I'm thinking, if I ever want to add more flavors in there, I can. Now, that formatter, of course, also allows you to format text, just like in Pages and Keynote. You could have selected text instead of table or other things, whatever object you might have selected if you insert a video or, a link or whatever, probably. But we also want to look at something here. While I'm on this cell, you heard that there are actions. And if I VO Command Space, let's listen to what those are.
Actions menu. 7 items.
This is where we renamed the table. VO down arrow.
Remove unused rows and columns. Remove unused columns. Remove unused rows. Add comment. Show menu. Press. Jump to table selected radio button. 1 of 4. Jump to tape press. Show menu.
So, if we show the menu.
Menu. 25. Show menu row header cell. Checkmark. Checkmark. Freeze header rows. Checkmark. Freeze header columns. Add row above. Add row below. Add header column before.
So you can add rows and columns.
Add header column after. Delete row. Delete column.
And it's telling you where you're going to add
You
them
are
above or
currently
below.
on
And it's also giving you the option to delete.
Show sort options. Quick filter ellipsis. Show filter options. Show category options. Merge cells. Dimmed. Unmerge cells. Dimmed. Cut. Copy. Copy snapshot. Paste. Pasted match style. Clear all. Checkmark. Wrap text. Matthew's iPhone. Dimmed.
And then we
Take
have
photo.
those.
Scan document. Add sketch. Add sketch.
Okay. These are the thing. Again, a lot of these are going to be more advanced than what we're getting into today. To have, filters and categories and so on. But I just wanted to show you that's the long press actions or context actions menu, not long press on a Mac, but context actions, equivalent to the long press on iPad and iPhone. If we escape out of that,
Closing menu.
there was also something else I was curious about. If we stop interacting all the way out as far as we can go and we go to the right, we saw the formatter.
Group.
We also saw a scroll area. Now,
You are currently on
this?
in scroll area. Content is empty. Empty format.
Okay. It's actually nothing,
Empty scroll area.
but I'm sure that it would have something if it needed to. So I'm going to look at our view menu when we get there and see what that might be, because it probably will tell me. In the menu bar, we have what you would expect, your Apple
menu.
your app name,
Numbers menu.
your file,
File menu. Sub.
and that's things
New
like
ellipsis command. Open ellipsis. Open recent. Sub close command. Save ellipsis command S. Duplicate command. Rename ellipsis. Move to ellipsis. Revert to. Sub share ellipsis.
there's your sharing options.
Activity settings ellipsis. Export to. Submenu.
There's your export options. Again, if you need to export this to other formats, sharing is collaboration or send a copy in the same format. And then that allows you to real-time collaborate with other people. And then, of course, export lets you bring it to other formats, PDF or Excel or otherwise. Let's look.
Export to. Submenu. 5 items PDF ellipsis. Excel ellipsis. CSV ellipsis. TSV ellipsis. Numbers 09 ellipsis.
All right, let's
File.
go out of that and see.
Save as template ellipsis. Reduce file size ellipsis. Advanced. Submenu. Set password ellipsis. Print ellipsis command P. Print ellipsis.
And I think that option to show you that we
Set
What was it,
advanced. Submit. Reduce file size. Save as template.
save as template, that's a useful one again, just because maybe there are specific things that you have set up the way you want them, and you could actually save them as a template so you can quickly go back to them. duplicate if you need to, and then get to work. Now,
Edit menu.
we'll skip over edit.
Insert menu.
Insert, we already showed you some of. You can look at that more on your own time, but that's where we inserted the formula. In the next
Table menu.
let's look at what some of these
Add
are.
row above.
Again, some of the same things we
You
had
are
in the
currently
actions. In the actions menu.
Add row below. Add header column before. Add header column after. Delete row command option. Delete column.
Whoops, that's a good command
Delete
there.
row command option. Delete.
That's a good thing to know, probably.
Delete column command control. Delete.
So command option,
You are
delete, command
currently
control, delete.
Header rows. Submenu.
I don't know
Header
what we have
rows.
there.
Submenu. 6 items 0. Check mark. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's just letting you see how many it's you.
Table.
Okay.
Check mark. Freeze header rows. Header columns. Check mark. Freeze header. Footer rows. Resize row to resize column to fit. Resize
Listen.
row to fit content. Dimmed. Resize column to fit content.
So you have those
Distribute
options.
rows evenly. Dimmed. Distribute columns evenly.
A
Dimmed.
lot of things that you may want to play with here.
Hide row. Unhide all rows. Dimmed. Hide column. Unhide all column. Select. Submenu. Autofill
Now.
cells. Submenu.
There's that autofill cells that we had with the command \.
Autofill cells. Submenu. 7 items. Autofill ellipsis. Command \.
And it tells you that. See?
Autofill right. Dimmed. Autofill left. Dimmed. Autofill down. Dimmed. Autofill up. Dimmed. Autofill from row above. Dimmed command option \. Autofill from column before. Dimmed command control \. Autofill.
So you
from
notice that there wasn't just the down arrow as I showed you. You could go any direction. You could go up, down, left, or right. You could do command control or command, what was it? Command option.
autofill from
See.
row above. Dimmed command option
Command
\.
option \/ and command control \/ if you wanted to fill from a different row or column. So there's a lot of different options in that autofill cells thing there.
Table. Insert current date command control
You
shift
can
D.
insert the current date,
Insert current time command control shift
current
T.
time. So you can play with this. Again, I don't need to go through every option. I did want to go to the view menu though,
Organize menu format arrange view
because I want to
menu
see what that scroll area might be.
show tab bar. Show all tabs command inspector submenu. Show rulers command guides submenu. Comments hide participant cursors dimmed. Show activity pane dimmed. Show range tools. Show colors command shift C. Show adjust image. Show music browser. Show photo and video browser.
These are all going to be things for when you insert media and different types of things.
Zoom submenu. Show warnings. Show sync status.
I wonder if it was.
Enter full screen cap F. Hide toolbar command option T. Customize toolbar customize
I wonder if it was one of the inspectors.
Comments guides
I wonder if it was one of the inspectors.
show rulers command inspector submenu 5 items organize check mark format organize show next inspector tab control accent show previous inspector tab control shift accent hide inspector command option I
And
hide inspector.
one of the things that I should point out about these inspectors, just like with Keynote, they are also going to show as soon as you move to something different and choose to format it. Like, you know, when we were on the table, we could format the table, the text, whatever. But if we had an image selected or a video or an audio file selected, you're going to have the options that are automatically best suited for those. But if you want to show and hide the inspectors, you can certainly do that. And now I'm going to hit escape here.
The closing menu.
And there's one other thing I'd like to do. I'd like to show you a little bit of what an invoice template looks like, because this is a nice feature just to show you how accessible even these templates are. If I use this on the iPad, but I'm going to try it on the Mac.
Close in save tags. Do tap vertical where
Pardon
numbers.
me.
Show more
Do you
option
want to
delete
keep
button.
this new document untitled?
You are
No.
closing
Okay.
dialog.
All right, so we're going to create a new one now.
New collection. It's basic section personal business section in section 0 employee schedule invoice 1 table with blue
I'm going to show you what this looks like here.
now in untitled window invoice white background layout area
Okay, so let's look at
sheet
this.
navigator tab group
Now, I don't think we have more than one sheet. That sheet navigator,
in invoice selected tab group 1 of 1
there's only one. If we had more sheets, you could move through them just like the slide navigator in
out
Keynote.
of sheet
But-
invoice white background layout area
interact with that.
Line layout item. Line layout item.
There's a line there to make it look good.
Company name. Text box layout item.
Now,
Actions available. Size 486.7 points wide, 15.6 points tall. Position.
and that's a text box. It says company name. So if I VO
Edit
space,
text insertion at beginning of text. Subtitle.
Subtitle.
Company name.
and I think
C.
I want to
C.
delete
Company name.
and put my
Selected.
actual.
S.
All right,
Services.
so stop interacting.
Line layout item. Line layout. TTG text services. Text box layout item.
There's my company name, and then here,
Invoice. 12345678890. No underscore reply at example.com. 1234 Main Street. Any town. State ZIP. Text box layout item.
and again, I'm not going to do all of those, but just to show you, to give you a little more practice, we'll VO space on that,
Edit text insertion at beginning of text. Heading.
and we'll leave the word invoice in there with VO or with option right arrow. And the nice thing is these are already formatted as we would like
Heading
them.
18 point Helvetic Anoia. Align natural.
So that word invoice. Now
Body. Heading 2. 123.
that's my. Now you notice it changed to heading 2. They've already got paragraph styles in here for you. I want to put my actual business phone number,
120.
so we'll select
Heading
this.
minus 400 minus 7,890. 4. 814. 8. 306.
Now we have
1360.
that.
Line separator.
There's a line separator
N.
in there.
N.
And here's the email.
No. Underscore. Reply. At example. Period. Select com. O. Info. T. G. E. H. T. Z.
I won't do my
TTGTE.
address. I won't do the address and everything, but you can see that some of it's done now if we stop interacting.
TTG text invoice. 814-348-1366. Info at ttjtech.biz. 1234 Main Street. Any
All right, so you get the idea with working with the text boxes, and then eventually we're going to come to the actual spreadsheet.
attention. Trends Pruka title company name 4321.
That's where you would put the attention of who the invoice goes to.
Details. 8 rows. 4 columns. Table. No selection.
Interact.
Description. Column header cell.
All right, let's look what we have.
Description. Column B quantity. Unit price. Cost. Column header cell. D. Item 1 cell. A2.
There's item 1, and we want to actually call that something. So we're going to make up a pretend invoice here. Let's say web design services.
In E. Web. Cap. D. Design. Cap. E. V. S.
Now, I
Services.
suspect they might still have item 1 in here.
Empty cell. Column C. Empty
minute.
cell. Empty cell. Empty cell. Empty cell. Cost. Column head. Description. Column header cell. E1. Column description. Column
go
header
back a
cell.
little. Okay.
Column header cell. D1.
Okay.
Description. Column header cell. E1. Quantity.
See.
Column header cell.
Okay.
Empty cell. A2. Empty cell. B2. Empty cell. C. Empty cell.
I think
Web
those would
design
be...
services cell. E2.
Okay, it actually did have it correct. It had web design services, and it did take out the other part.
55 cell. F2.
And that's your...
$100.00 cell.
Okay, so the item number is... We're going to say that it's an hourly rate, so we're just going to put...
50.
We're going to do 5 hours.
Insertion at end of text. 5.
Now, I don't know if it took out everything or
Web
not.
design services. 5 cell. F2.
Okay, it did. So it already selected it. So I don't have 455 or whatever. I just have 5 hours of web design services. And over here,
$100.00 cell. G2. 80. $80.00 cell.
I changed that to $80 at 5 hours at $80 an hour. And so my total
$400.00 formula result cell. H2.
already did it because it knows that I wanted a template for an invoice. We picked the invoice template. So it already has the formula there to calculate. And usually at the bottom of these invoice templates.
Out of details. 8 rows. Thank you for your business. It's a pleasure to work with you on your project. Your next order will ship in 30 days.
That's editable. So you can say whatever you want there. please remit payments via Apple Pay or, whatever you want. But I'm just showing you that even these templates are fully accessible, and it is very, very easy to work with the existing templates that they've got for you. They have formulas in them when they're needed. They have the text already pre-formatted for you. You really don't have to. I mean, you could choose to, because, what we always say, right? Personal preference, okay? Like you could say, well, I want that to be bigger than 18 points, or I want it to be centered if it isn't centered, but we could have selected the text and gone into the formatter to see that. But the point is, this is fully accessible and very, very powerful. And I think it's worth a look.
In save
because
dialog,
it's really, really
delete,
just,
but
Pardon
can't
me.
delete, but
Do you want to keep this new document untitled?
it's really powerful. I'll go to Trainer Cliff. Do you have anything to add? You've done a lot of spreadsheets over the years. I mean,
I have, but most of mine were imported from Excel, already written. I have written up a, to-do list. Took the idea from your family. I'm having spring cleaning list in the spring and doing stuff of that
Yep.
nature. But there's a lot of options here that are not available to a Windows user in Excel. I mean, there are some, but there's a lot more here than you would think, especially when you look in the menu bar. And that's what we talked about in the last session when we were doing Keynote. If you say that numbers is the equivalent to Excel, that's kind of not giving it its credit, because there's a lot more you can do here, especially and I don't know about Excel because I haven't looked at it in a while, but I don't think when I last used Excel, there were not templates you could choose from. When you opened up an Excel spreadsheet, it just said new book or workbook. And you just had to start writing your formulas and do whatever. Now, Numbers gives you all that. It was like Pages and Keynote with the template options. But yes, Numbers is a very powerful app, and you can really learn how to, organize your business. Well, I actually did run my business with Numbers when I had my cafe back in 2017. So it is possible.
And that was before they added all these extra features that we just, some of the ones we just showed now probably were not, available back then. And it was not that easy to enter data into the cells either back then.
No, it wasn't. That back then you had to interact a couple of times before you could even write something in a cell on the Mac. So
Right. So they've really made this very simple and very straightforward. And I guess that ought to do it.
And now, enjoy this Mac for the Blind Rewind, brought to you by Stir It Up Studios and TTJ Tech Services.
This is all about the calendar and voiceover with the Mac. So the calendar. Let's first start by dispelling a myth that drives me absolutely crazy. Pet peeve of mine, if you want to call it that. Calendar is completely accessible, folks. I'm getting tired of hearing people tell me that the Mac and iOS calendars are not accessible to voiceover users. That is just a complete bunch of, well, as Colonel Potter used to say in MASH, hockey pucks, horse hockey pucks, whatever. The calendar is completely accessible. It's just that with both operating systems, you need to understand what you're quote unquote looking at. No pun intended for blind people. I'm blind myself. So you really just have to understand the interface, understand what you're hearing as you navigate, and then you will discover completely that the calendar app is fully accessible. So you can open up the calendar app from your dock. It is in applications in your applications folder, so you'll find it there, as well as if you do a spotlight search and just type calendar, it should be the first result that comes up. So I'm going to Command Tab.
System set mail, messages, text at calendar, window, toolbar.
Okay, so I have just Command Tabbed. I have my calendar open all the time because I work with people during the day and have to schedule, so it's just convenient to leave it open. So right now I am at the top level of the interface. And as I said, understanding what you're hearing is really going to be the key. And this hasn't changed. I mean, people have asked me a bunch of times about my audio tutorials and are they updated? Are they up? Should you update them? And everything pretty much with the exception of messages and system settings has to be updated. The calendar tutorial is still perfectly fine. The calendar really hasn't changed significantly enough in the last bunch of years for me to find myself thinking I need to re-record this as a lesson. So the topmost view, you have a toolbar.
Vertical splitter,
VO
collapsed
right
on
arrow
left.
in.
June 2024, month calendar area group.
and the month calendar area group. Those are the two major content areas you're going to deal with. Don't worry about the vertical splitter. That's just the visual aspect that is there on the screen for sighted people. From the voiceover perspective, the toolbar and the calendar area are your two most important things. So let's start with the calendar area. We'll come back to the toolbar later. So I'm going to interact with VO Shift down arrow.
In June 2024, month calendar
We
area.
are in June at the time of this recording. This recording is being done on June 17th. So that's what the calendar is going to reflect at this point. So now we have the first level of interaction.
Make previous month button.
We have a previous month button,
Today button.
a today button,
Next month button.
next month button.
May 26, July 6, 2024 grid.
So there's the grid, and it just told you.
You are currently on a grid. In
So when you open your calendar for the first time, most of the time, as far as I've been aware of working with people, it's a month view. Now, the month view is a 6x7 grid. If you can visualize this in your mind's eye, for those of you who are totally blind, and for those of you who have some vision or remember what the calendar looked like before you lost your vision or had decreased, it's a 6x7 grid. It's the 6 weeks that comprise the current month. So you notice it said, I think, May 26th through July 6th or something like that. So it's 6 weeks, and it's the 7 days across, Sunday through Saturday. So I'm going to interact with the grid here.
In May 26, July 6, Tuesday. Today, Sunday, June 16th, 2 events list.
So Sunday is where it
You are
starts
currently on
the row. So if I go across the row, you'll notice it's the days of the week.
Today, Monday, June 17th. Tuesday, June 18th, 2 events.
Just VO right arrowing.
Wednesday, June 19th. Thursday, June 20th, 1 event list. Friday, June 21st. Saturday, June 22nd, 1 event list.
So you notice as I'm going through the day,
You are currently on a list. In
VoiceOver is stating the number of events that I have per day on these particular, days as I go across. So it gives you an idea of what you're actually, dealing with as far as what's on your calendar. Now, keep in mind, folks, that Apple provides you with what they call a holidays calendar. So even if you're sitting there saying to yourself, I've never used my calendar, how can I have events on there? Well, you're going to have Flag Day, June 14th. You're going to have Father's Day, which was this past Sunday, the 16th. So there's going to be items on your calendar that you did not schedule. So just keep that in mind. Now, you also have what Apple gives you in the beginning, a work and a home calendar. So you can decide whether something is a work event or a home event, and then you can create your own calendars. You can join shared calendars. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm just talking about the starting point that people, when you first open your calendar, that you only, that Apple gives you these default calendars. So I'm going to go back
Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, today, Sunday.
to Sunday, the 16th. Now, if I VO down arrow,
Sunday, June 23rd, 1 event list.
if I VO up arrow,
Sunday, June 16th. Sunday, June 9th, 1 event list. Sunday.
so you notice that if I go up and down, it's the same day of the week. It's just 7 days either earlier or 7 days later. So to try to give you that perspective of the grid, the 6x7 grid, that's how it works. So all you got to remember is your VO up, down, left, and right arrows to navigate the grid. I like the month view. I know some people may want a, week view, or because you can have a week view, you can have a day view, which is just the current day or the day that you've selected. You could have a year view if you wanted to. I just think that the month view, from my perspective, the way I work and schedule with people, makes it easier for me to keep track of, if I'm scheduling 2 weeks or 3 weeks out, like if a client goes on vacation and they're telling me they're not available to the end of the month or after July 4th, as I've had somebody just tell me they're going away for 3 weeks. So, it's good for me personally to have the calendar. But if you need to change the, you can do it from the view menu. So I'm going to
Apple
just
menu.
go to VOM here.
Calendar, file, edit, view, menu.
So if you go down the view,
Show tab bar. Show alt, by day, by week, command, by day, command 1.
so you have by day,
By week, command 2.
by command 2.
Check mark. By month, command, by year, command 4.
So command 1 through 4 can change.
You are
your
currently on a menu
views
item.
on the fly if you need to, or you can go to the view menu and change the views if it's a more appropriate for that you feel you want to just have a week view or you want to see the year or whatever. So, and what my point being that just because I use the month view doesn't mean that everybody has to use the month view. But anyway, for the sake of teaching purposes,
Today, Monday.
I'm going to just interact with Monday today, June the 17th, just to give you a further.
In today, Monday.
So I have events already scheduled for today. So
Training with Sharon C starts on June. Training with Martin F starts. Training with Julia B starts on June. Training with Brian F starts on June 17th, 2024 at 1:00.
So there's my next training event. So it gives me a synopsis. And by the way, the background noise
Respace PM and ends at 2.
Is my braille display keeps clicking in and out. The Orbit Reader 20 keeps doing a pin exercise thing every so often that makes that noise. So I don't know why it's doing it because it is technically not on. But anyway, so you have the event here. And this is particular, like I said, this is an event with my next client. And if you VO space on the event, this is how you would quote unquote edit an existing event.
Event title window. Training with Brian F.
So we have the title, which is Training with Brian F., who's my next client.
Work. Pop-up button.
There's when I was talking about
You are currently.
the calendar that you can pick. So I always just use most of my stuff as the work calendar, but there is a home calendar for personal things. And I have a shared calendar with my friend's wife who drives. She gets paid as my driver for Helen Keller and some if they allow it, New York Commission clients, if they actually allow me to pay a driver for mileage. So we have a shared calendar, but obviously this is just my event, so it's on the work.
Add location or video call edit text.
So you have a location field.
June 17th, 2024 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. button.
So then it's telling me that it's scheduled
You
for
are currently
1
on
p.m., 2 p.m.
Alert 15 minutes before.
And there's my alert, which is 15 minutes prior.
Edit attendees button.
And then
Group.
you have the edit attendee.
Add notes. URL.
Add notes. So you can change events on the fly if it's necessary just by VO spacing, Control Option space or Caps Lock space. If you're using Caps Lock as your voiceover modifier, you simply trigger the event to see the details, and then you can make changes. You can even delete the event if you want to. Now, by deleting events, sometimes you can just hit the delete key on the event while you're looking through your calendar. In other instances, for some stupid reason, and maybe this is just a bug that's been existing for a while, I don't know, but you actually have to go to the end of the screen.
Show button.
To the show button. If you VO space on show and then you immediately hit the delete key, it will delete the event. You don't have to do that all the time, but if you're having trouble deleting any events with just the delete key, make sure you VO space on show. I don't know if that's something specifically technical that the event has to be showing. I don't know, but that's how I've been able to delete them. So I'm going to hit escape just because I don't want to do
Calendar.
anything to this particular event. Now on the Mac, Command N, as I'm sure you veteran Mac users understand, is the command for a new something or another. So if it's in Mail, it's a new Mail message. In Safari, it's a new blank Safari window, or your whatever you consider to be your starting point on Safari. If it's Finder, it's a new Finder window. So in Calendar,
New it. 4 items.
it will be the new event window. Now you are immediately placed in the title field. Now, a little trick that I teach my clients to save time. Well, first, let me take a step back and dispel yet another myth that I just want to make sure people understand. If you're scheduling an event, you do not need to be on that day for the event. In other words, if you're scheduling something for August 15th, you don't have to get your calendar, the voiceover perspective, the voiceover cursor to get to August 15th before you schedule the event. You can be anywhere in the calendar, and Command N is a new event. So what I try to explain to people is the acronym TOA, title, on, and at. So what I would do for an event, and this is just for the sake of this lesson, I'm just going to say test event.
TES, test, EVNT.
Okay. On,
N,
let's say June.
JUNE.
So here's the 17th, 18th, 19th. We'll say 19th.
1, test 8, test of 8, 9.
19
8,
at 2 p.m. So we have test event on June 19 at 2 p.m. Remember what I said, TOA, TOA, title, on, and at. If you do that, it sets up the event perfectly as far as the date and the time. The only thing that you would have to then do is if you needed to make any additional edits, like adding an alert or whatever, which I'm going to do shortly here. So I'm going to hit enter.
10 items. Event. Selected. Radio button. 1 of 2. Reminder. Radio button. 2 of 2.
So it's an event.
Remind. Test work. Pop-up button.
So we have work, which is the
You are
right
currently in a
calendar. So I'm just VO right arrowing here, folks.
Add location or video call.
So if I wanted to have a location for this event, if I was traveling somewhere, if I wanted to, I could add the address. Now, the reason why I point this out is that there's two cool things that if you really get into the Mac ecosystem, that's pretty interesting, is that the calendar integrates with the Maps app. So if you put a location, it will also tell you at the time of the event if there's any traffic or road work or anything that might, basically delay you. So having, a location will actually, if it requires any kind of, additional travel, you'll get warned. The other thing you can do is set up a travel time. So if you know that it normally takes you 2 hours to get to a specific location, you could add that as a travel time. And then the calendar will integrate that with Maps. And if there's any additional time delays, it will let you know. So I don't particularly do this a lot because my training events are home. I don't go anywhere. But sometimes with the Helen Keller or New York Commission, I will put the location in just because we don't necessarily know in the beginning how long of a drive it's going to be to get to this person's location, especially with traffic on Long Island. Yeah, good luck with that. So I'm going to VO right arrow.
None. Pop-up button. Add location or none. Pop-up button. June 19th, 2000. None. FaceTime.
I don't know what this is actually for.
You are currently on the menu item.
Be a FaceTime,
to choose
it's a pop-up menu.
Add video call. Dimmed.
Oh, so you can, so if it's going to be a video call or something special, you can actually add that in the drop-down menu here. But
June 19th, 2024 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. button.
So we have it already set for June 19th
you are currently
to 3 p.m.
Add alert. June 19th.
If I wanted to make any changes to this, remember it says button. So VO spacing will allow you then to make changes. So
June 19th, 2024, date area.
So it's an area or scroll area, so we interact.
In date area, 19 June.
So if I needed to change the month, I could VO.
You are July, August.
I'm just VO up arrowing.
July, June.
VO down arrowing. So if
19.
I VO right arrow, I'm on the date, picker item. So this is just an up and down deal where you can change.
Date.
So let's say I want to make it the 21st instead of the 19th.
Day 21.
So I'll move over.
2024.
There's the
2024.
There's the year. So I'm going to stop interact.
Out of date area. 2 p.m. Time area.
There's the time area. So if I wanted to change
you are currently on
the hour or the minutes, I could do that.
Time area. June 21st, 2024. Date area. 3 p.m.
So it's set scheduled for an hour. Every event that you schedule on the calendar for whatever the reason, Apple's decided it's an hour duration. So if you need to make it an hour and a half, 2 hours, a half hour, you could also manipulate the end time and date as well. So, keep that in mind. For me, it works out perfectly because all my training events are an hour in duration. So to me, I don't really have to make any changes, but for anybody else, obviously you can do so.
None. Repeat. Pop-up
So
button.
here's your repeat. If you want it to be a repeating event,
you are currently
say it's a staff meeting that you have every Friday at 9 a.m. or, Wednesday at 2 p.m. or whatever, you can make it a repeating event. You can do birthdays manually if you wanted to just make somebody's birthday and make it a yearly event. But keep in mind that if you use contact cards in the Contacts app and you include the birthdays field, you can turn on the birthday calendar and it will take that information from your contacts and it will put the appropriate, day, birthdays or whatever. So like for my family members and my closest friends, I have their birthdays included in my contacts for them. So there are no family birthdays in June, but one of my best friends' birthday was actually on Saturday. So his birthday is on the calendar because of the fact that I have it included in contacts.
None. Travel time.
So there's the travel time drop down that I was telling you that you could do. So if your event is going to require you have to go someplace, you want to tell the calendar approximately how much time it would normally take you.
None. Alert.
So there's your alert. So you have a primary and a secondary alert. Some people need to have alerts more than once. So for example, for me, I only do 15 minutes prior because I'm here. I don't need to go anywhere. It's just here. That's my next person I work with. But when I go to like a New York Commission or a Helen Keller event, there is going to be some travel, and my driver, she likes two alerts, a day before and 2 hours before the event. So when I schedule something specifically for our shared calendar, I have to do both the primary and secondary alerts.
Alert. Add alert. Dimmed.
There's the secondary one.
Edit attendees button.
Can't get the second. You know
Alert. Add alert. Dimmed. But
it's dimmed because I haven't even selected a primary alert. So the secondary alert's not going to be available to you until you do the primary alert. If you want to add a secondary.
Edit attendees button.
There's
Group.
the attendees group.
Add notes, URL, or attachments
And
button.
there's if you wanted to add any notes, you can VO space on this button, and it will expand to give you a notes field and stuff. So let's say, for example, you have an engagement party or a birthday party or a shower or something where you are personally responsible for bringing, let's say, the desserts. So you could make a note that just says, make sure I bring, the cookies or whatever, cupcakes, whatever the heck you're supposed to bring. I use the notes field a lot for clients. If I had a question that they asked me at the previous session that I needed to look up, or for example, one of my clients later, I have to have a conversation with because their counselor, their voc rehab counselor, called me on Friday to ask me to have a very uncomfortable conversation with them. So I have a note in the event for that person to make sure I bring up the subject of attendance.
Event. Selected. Radio button.
So
1
then we're
of 2.
back to the beginning because I use the circle, but
You are currently on a selected radio.
in the navigation settings, so it comes back up to the top again. Now, here's the interesting thing to keep in mind. There is no save or done button with events. You simply want to just hit, what I do is I just go to the title field.
Reminder. Test work. Pop test event.
And I hit enter to close it.
Calendar. Radio.
So that's what I do to make sure that, the event is saved, is I always hit enter on the title field. That's how I've been doing it. Now, as a side note, when you go to edit events, sometimes you can do that. You can hit enter on the title field to save the changes, but there is often an apply button at the very end of the event area when you are editing an event that you VO space on the apply button to save the changes. So you always got to get into the habit of going to the end of the screen when you're editing an event to make sure there isn't an apply button. If there isn't an apply button, you can hit enter to save it. But if there is an apply button, you have to do VO space on the apply button for the event details changes to be saved. Again, it could be a bug. I don't know if it's a feature. I don't know what Apple's thought process was. As I've often said to Cliff and other people over the years, I miss iCal. Prior to Calendar, that used to be called iCal, and iCal was just a lot of better and easier interface. It was easier to manage conversations. You had a lot more control, for example, over, different sound effects for people entering, who are online, who are not online, etc. So I kind of miss those days because sometimes this calendar interface for the Mac in particular can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I do miss how easy iCal was, but it's doable. And it's, as I've said in the beginning, it's completely accessible.
Inbox. Radio button. Out of tool.
So we're going to talk about the toolbar now. The toolbar, as I said, is at the top of the screen.
In toolbar. In calendar. Radio button.
So we
1
have
of 2.
Radio button for calendar.
Inbox. Radio
and
button.
inbox. Now the inbox is for
Button.
shared
2.
calendar events. So in other words, if you have a shared calendar where, let's say, for example, I have a couple of clients, and when I used to be contracted with Apple back years ago, I was part of the quality assurance team. So what happened was I had to join their calendar. So when my boss at the time, Carlos, would schedule either a direct quality assurance meeting with the whole team, or I had to go as obviously a liaison for accessibility to other developer meetings. So sometimes I get, an event notification of a different event, that I had to attend. So it would be in my inbox. What you'll notice too is if you are someone who uses like Priceline or Travelocity or Booking.com, and you get your reservation information, especially too if you book through like a major airline like United or American or Delta, or British Air or whatever. When you get the confirmation for the travel dates, it sometimes will end up in your inbox in calendar as a potential event. I always add them to my calendar. The cool thing about airlines and hotel reservations when you get them and you add them to your calendar is it has the address of the places. Like for example, for the air, if it's like an air travel thing, you get the the flight number, plus you get the time the flight's supposed to take off, what time the flight lands, and you also get the airport address where you're going. So it makes life a lot easier that it's all on the calendar. The same thing with the hotel too, and it blocks out the days. So for example, if you're traveling on a cruise, let's say for 10 days, the calendar will actually have the start time.
Your internet connection is unstable.
Zoom.
If you add it to the calendar, it will show up on the calendar at the beginning date and the end date. So it kind of blocks it off for you if you need to, to do that. So just keep that in mind with the inbox. Now, calendars is how you can manage your calendar.
US has new calendar radio
I'm going to
selected.
VO space,
Out of
stop interacting.
Calendar sources table, row 4 of 17.
Directly to the right, VO right arrow, is a table of your calendar sources. So this is where you can see what calendars you are subscribed to, as well as adding calendars or deleting calendars. Now, I bring up adding calendars because there are what are called calendar subscriptions. Calendar subscriptions can be added, like let's say, for example, I used to do a a sports radio talk show here locally. So I still have some of the local teams' calendars. They're the schedule for their games. For example, New York Mets, New York Giants, New York Islanders, New York Knicks. I used to have all of their schedules in my calendar. I have since I do the show over Facebook now instead of an actual physical radio station. I don't have all the different local teams on my calendar anymore. But you can add sports teams, college, if you're a big college basketball or college football or whatever, softball, whatever the case may be, and you have a specific alma mater, you can add that team to your calendar as well. You also could do things like national holidays. So, for example, I worked with a client many moons ago who was originally born and raised in Ireland and moved to this country. I think she was 16 or 17. I think she was just in high school at the time. But anyway, she wanted a Irish holidays calendar as well as a strict Roman Catholic holiday calendar. I worked with another lady who was an Orthodox Jewish person who wanted the Hebrew calendar. I've worked with clients who like the phases of the moon. I've worked with clients who wanted the Chinese New Year calendar and all that stuff. So if you go to apple.com and you choose support and you put in the search field calendar invitations or calendar subscriptions, you'll find if Apple still does it. I haven't checked this in a while, so I stand corrected if someone comes to me and says, you can't find them anymore. There used to be like 500 or 600 potential calendar subscriptions that you could apply to. Now, just by having a calendar added doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. The calendar sources table allows you to delete calendars or disable them. If you want to keep the calendar, but for the time being, you just want to disable it so it doesn't show up in your calendar view when you're looking at your actual calendar, you can do that as well. I will do that at times when I'm looking at, like, let's say my personal events, doctor's appointments and stuff. Sometimes I'll hide my work calendar so I don't have all of the training sessions mixed in, so I can just kind of look at the next 2 weeks and see what appointments, because they do a lot of these Zoom or teleconference things where you either go in by Zoom or they just call you and you're on a teleconference with a bunch of doctors and, students and stuff. So I volunteer for all the studies, and I'm a guinea pig for anything if it helps. So
Selected.
I'm involved in a lot of different things, and I apologize to some of my clients when I have to change events at the last moment. So that is, the calendar sources table gives you complete control over what calendars you have and what calendars you don't want to have anymore. Like I said, I've deleted some of the sports stuff because I don't need it anymore. I still have a couple of team schedules on here, which I probably will end up deleting because I really don't need to know team schedules at this point in my life. So I'll probably end up removing them little by little as time passes. So that's the calendar sources area as opposed to the inbox. And remember, the inbox is going to have a badge if you have anything in it. So when you VO arrow over that, it will tell you inbox has 3 items, etc., or has 2 items, whatever the case may be. So just, keep that in mind if you are someone who does a lot of the gets involved with calendar invitations, etc. So that's what those particular radio buttons do in the toolbar. Now, a couple of other sort of additional notes about using the calendar on the Mac. It syncs over as long as you meet the minimum requirements for system, meaning iOS, macOS, iPadOS, etc. And you must be logged in on all your devices with the same Apple ID. You must be on the same Wi-Fi network. And when you make any changes and such, everything will sync so that if you schedule something on the Mac side, it will show up on the iPhone, the iPad. If you schedule something on your iPhone, you can jump on your Mac and you can see it. Now, one thing too, before I just jumped and popped into my mind, and I apologize, but the Today button. When we were looking at the calendar before, we had a previous and next and Today button. Now you can use Command left arrow and Command right arrow to go forward or backwards based on what your calendar view is. In other words, if it's the month view, and you do Command right arrow, Command left arrow, it either moves the calendar up ahead a month or back a month. If you're looking at the week view, it's going to go a week forward, week back, etc. So you can use the Command left and Command right arrow to quickly cycle if you need to jump ahead and see what you have on your calendar in September or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But the Today button, to my knowledge, unless it's been fixed, doesn't seem to do anything for voiceover users that I can see, I can tell. I could be wrong. Maybe it's been fixed. I haven't tried it in a while, but every time I've tried it, including embarrassing situations with live demos and stuff, it didn't work. And that's the only reason why I'm not going to try it while I'm talking to you guys now, because it probably won't work. If it does, then great. Somebody can let me know. But anytime I've tried to do the Today, it works on the iPhone. If you double tap on the Today button, you can get immediately to the June 17th, Monday view. But for some reason, at least with VoiceOver, it could be visually there. I don't know, but VoiceOver is not quote unquote seeing the information. So just keep that in mind, folks, in case you're interested in a Today button. You can use Siri on your Mac if you really wanted to schedule events. Again, remember the acronym TOA, title, on, and at. If you're going to use Siri, you can still use Siri to schedule title, on, and at for an event. The thing I don't know, have not been able to accomplish is alerts and repeating events and stuff like that. Doesn't seem to be Siri capable unless I'm not phrasing
Alert from
things,
calendar. Training with Brian F.
unless I'm not, unless I'm missing something. I don't see how Siri, if you can get Siri to do some of those more pedestrian things like I said, a repeating event, an alert, things like that. So you may have to still go in manually and fix those things in the end. You do have calendar settings. You can set, because the calendar assumes the average work day is 9 to 5. So you can change if you have a wacky work schedule or something like that. You can also add calendar, accounts. So in other words, like when I worked with Apple, I would have to put in the Apple ID and password for my work address at the time, which was jpanarese@apple.com at the time, which was really wonderful having an Apple email address for a year and a half. It was kind of cool. Don't have it anymore. But anyway, when I set that up, I also had to add the calendar as part of it because of the way that Apple does things. So that's how I just added the account through the calendars application at the time. Now on the Mac, everything is done through internet account settings. So sometimes it's a quote unquote optical illusion in the sense that in calendar or mail, if you go to add an account, you're actually being taken to the internet accounts part of the Mac. And you're not technically still in calendar or mail, even though it makes it look like you might think you are, I guess is the best way to say it. But to me, the calendar is a valuable tool. I know people will say to me, I don't need a calendar. I got my memory. I'm good at that. I don't have a lot of things going on in my life. And, what do I really need a calendar for? And if that's the case. I'm not criticizing anybody. There are people who just don't have a lot of stuff going on. Maybe they're younger. They don't have to see doctors like us older fogies have to do, are not involved in medical situations, don't have a schedule where you're working with people, sometimes 3 to 7 people in the course of a day, 18 to 22, 23 sessions a week. So I need a calendar. And I remember years ago when a friend of mine, one of my childhood friends, had started working. Anytime we wanted to schedule with the poor guy, we tortured him because he had back in the day, this was before phones and PDAs and stuff. So everything was done on paper. So he had this big scheduling book he used to carry around with him. And anytime we would want to, let's say go to a game or get together to go out someplace, he had to take out his freaking planner and go through the whole thing. And I remember one day we were driving to my friend's house and I asked him, I said, hey, we're looking, my brother can score some tickets to, this is back years ago when it was Shea Stadium before it's Citi Field for the Mets. Yeah, my brother can get some tickets, maybe a dozen tickets for Shea. Oh, what date? And I told him, I got to look at my calendar. So I remember saying to him at the time, Keith, do me a favor. If I ever have to live off a calendar, do me a favor and just shoot me. I'm glad he doesn't remember that because if I didn't have the calendar on the Mac and the iPhone, I would be totally lost. I couldn't remember a quarter of what I got to do during the course of a week because everything also changes quickly at times. So definitely want to use the calendar, even if you're sitting there right now listening to this saying, I don't need a calendar. I got my memory. I'm great. I got, what do I got? One doctor's. Oh, I got to see the dentist next week. I don't need to put that on my calendar. That's fine. I'm not criticizing anybody, but learn to use the calendar because there is going to come a day in your life in which you are going to start to not be able to remember things like you used to. Trust me, it happens. It's scary, but it happens. At the age of 56, I walk into rooms, don't remember why the heck I even stepped on foot in that room in the first place. So you really want to make sure you use your tools at your disposal and learn them before you really truly need to learn them so that when you do need to learn them, you'll be able to use them. And, people have asked me, I'm just trying to think of different things that I've been asked over the years about the calendar. Yes, you can integrate Google Calendar. You can integrate your iCloud calendar with your Outlook calendar. Everything can be integrated into one calendar on the Mac. And this kind of goes back again to myths that I like to dispel. Like, for example, the mail app, how people feel, oh, I got Gmail, so I need to use the Gmail app. I can't use the Apple mail app. I use Outlook. Work tells me I got to use Outlook. I can't use anything else other than Outlook. And yes, you can. Apple Mail will handle Outlook. It handles the EWS web service. Calendar can be integrated into your iCloud calendar. I don't care if you have Yahoo, Gmail, AOL, whatever. All of those accounts can be integrated into one, into your iCloud account. And then you'll see them as separate accounts. If you really wanted to, like in your calendars area, you would actually see the separate accounts. So you could hide, for example, all of your Outlook events temporarily to remove them from, like, let's say you just want to see, stuff that you schedule personally, like I do. So my point being that it doesn't matter what you do for a living. school, work, whatever. If you have to integrate calendars, you can do that through calendar settings, which again takes you to internet, or you can just go to internet account settings, and instead of choosing mail, choose calendar from the selection, and you can add a calendar for, let's say, Gmail. I used to have a calendar for Gmail, a calendar for Outlook, and a calendar for iCloud, and I had integrated them years ago. But as the years have passed, I actually got rid of my Gmail and my Outlook calendars totally, and I only use the iCloud calendar because I was having some weird stuff happen, which I did some research, and the only solution was disabling the Gmail calendar, where I was getting these group events for Taylor's Big Summer Blast, Johnny's Summer Explosion, all these dopey events in the middle, during the summer or whatever. And if I tried to delete them, it would tell me, you're not the originator of this event. You can't delete it. So I couldn't do anything about it until I turned off my Gmail calendar entirely and deleted it. And then I just integrated everything over to iCloud, and I've been happy ever since. But that's me. So anyway, that is the Mac calendar in its glory.
Thanks for that great teaching from the late, great Jon Panarese. Talking about the accessible calendar on the Mac. No third-party apps needed. I'm going to just throw it out there. iOS is the same way. You do not, and I repeat, you do not need a third-party calendar. The one that Apple built in is fully accessible. If you don't know how to use it, if you have some questions, ask somebody. Maybe they thought of something that you didn't and could show you something that would make it easier for you to use. You don't need Fantastico or any other third-party calendar, not even that Google Calendar. I only use it on my phone because, people want to know it, so I got to teach it. Anyways, if you want any more of the late, great Jon Panarese teachings, he has a playlist on my YouTube page. Go to youtube.com/stirredupstudio and look for the playlist called Not More at the Mac. It's called Mac for the Blind. There's also a podcast on any podcast platform that you can think of. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Podbean, any of them. Look for Mac for the Blind. There is a podcast, and again, he has a playlist on my YouTube channel, because when he was alive, I managed all that stuff for him. And, that stuff is still relevant. There'll never be another like him. He was a great teacher, has a wealth of knowledge, and he was a great, great friend, one of the best friends I ever had. I guess better go before I get choked up. Thanks for joining this session of More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. See you next time. Thank you for joining More at the Mac, JP Reloaded. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, something you want demoed, or a topic you want covered, send us an email at feedback@stirredup.com. That's FEE, the letter D, the word back, at STURITUP.com. See you next time.